A. Have the right one every day. N. Nutrition, eating fruits, grains, nuts, and veggies. Eating fruits, and grains, nuts, and veggies. E. 30 minutes, 5 days. W. Drinking 8 cups a day. S. 30 minutes getting vitamin D. T. Say no to alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, and caffeine. Say no to alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, and caffeine. A. Getting it fresh every day. R. 8 hours a night. And T. Trust in God. T. Trust in God. So let's have a new start. Let's have a new start. So go tell somebody. So go tell somebody today. There it is, everybody. A new start. And now we continue to learn how we can have a new start to our, actually going to learn more about ourselves so we can have a new start to ourselves. So we're continuing with lesson number 8. And we're looking at in lesson number 8, we're looking at endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, and lysosomes. Now we're going to be looking at Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus. You know where that's at? That's right here within the cytoplasm of the cell. Golgi apparatus. Now it has a particular function too. Now the Golgi apparatus, also known as a Golgi body or the Golgi complex, is situated within the cell, the cytoplasm, as you see in this picture here. And why do they call it that? It's actually named after somebody. You find because he discovered it. God already created it, but he discovered it. His name is Gamaliel Golgi. It's not Google. I know it's Golgi. Okay. Gamaliel Golgi, or Golgi. In 1897, that's how he got the name, because he was the one who discovered it. As he's looking at his microscope and he sees this funny looking thing within the cytoplasm, and he begins to, of course, observe what's going on. Now remember, this is just a cross section of the Golgi apparatus. In other words, it's like to cut it in half and allows you to see the half part of it. All right, so what is it? Golgi apparatus is typically comprised of 2 series of 5 to 8 cup shaped membrane covered sacs called cisternae. Cisternae that looks something like a stack of deflated balloons. That kind of look like a deflated balloon, don't it? So it's kind of like a balloon that's deflated, and it has sacs inside that balloon, and different stuff happens in that balloon. So what you have here, let's look at it. And the Golgi apparatus is the process. The purpose of it is the processing center, but at the same time, the distribution center. It's a processing center where it takes the things that were made in the ribosome, those proteins, and now it takes it, if it needs to make more parts from that protein, it does it there, and actually then delivers it to the various parts of the body where it needs to go. So you kind of, again, it's more like where it continues to make some parts, but it also a delivery place too. A manufacture and delivery. That's the way I kind of think of the Golgi apparatus. So the Golgi apparatus processes substances, and it plays an important role of absorbing and secreting substances. Therefore, each Golgi field has an absorptive and secretive side. In other words, secrete means to let out. To let out. That's basically just like when you sweat, that's a secretion. You're sweating out of the pores. It's secreting sweat or water. That's secreting. Absorbing is when you absorb things, like a sponge absorbing water. So again, think about the Golgi apparatus is a distribution and shipping department. And also, again, as I mentioned, it actually helps manufacture or take that protein, even make it to make more stuff from various proteins when it comes into the body. So again, that Golgi apparatus is where it all happens. Ribosome, remember, what's it mainly doing? The ribosome is making what? Protein. All right? And we already know that happens in the rough endoplasmic reticulum in making the protein. coming from amino acids. But in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, you have the synthesizing of lipids, the synthesizing of carbohydrates. And some of these things that's needed to make other parts for the body that's needed, it would go into the Golgi apparatus. So if I have a protein and another thing like a lipid or whatever's needed to make even more parts for the body, it happens in the Golgi apparatus and delivered. I mean, it's an amazing system. So yeah, the Golgi apparatus is a distribution and shipping department for the cell's chemical products. All right, you got it? You got it now, right? So what happens here in this Golgi apparatus, and you can see the different parts of the Golgi apparatus. I want you to notice to the right, you got the incoming transport vesicle. And as I mentioned, this part right here, these 8 little balloons, or it could be 5 balloons deflated, cisternae. And you have it. Everything goes in here, and then it pops out. It's an amazing system. It pops out of there and looks like these little balls, these little round balls. And it starts here, looks like a round ball, because everything, for the most part, many things are transported by vesicles. Think of the word vesicle is like vehicle. Vehicle, vesicle. All right? So what does a vehicle do? What's a vehicle do? It carries, it transports. So you have a vehicle is actually a vesicle. Right? So you have this transportation system, this car, or so to speak, or this vehicle. So the vehicle goes into the Golgi apparatus with its cargo, and it does its stuff. The chemical thing, you have a protein to make something else, and it delivered. And at the end of it, at the transface, this is the transface right here, you have the outgoing part of the Golgi apparatus. So now the finished product goes out, and it's designed to go out into the cell to go do what it's supposed to do. So again, the Golgi apparatus, it modifies proteins and lipids, as I mentioned before. Where are lipids, which are fats, synthesized, made? The smooth. And then where are the proteins made? Where's proteins made? In the ribosome, the rough. So now you see, they have another department that's bringing a lot of it together, whatever's needed. So it modifies proteins and lipids that have been built in the endoplasmic reticulum and prepares them for export outside the cell or for transport to other locations in the cell. Proteins and lipids are built in a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, as we already mentioned, and then it buds off this bubble-like. It's just like, literally, it's like a bubble. I mean, it comes out and boink, like a little bubble, and it's transported outside the cell what it needs to do. The next time I'll show you a video, and I had time to do it today, in which you can actually visualize. They have a nice little video where they actually visualize this whole little process going on so you can understand it. You have all these chemicals coming together, the proteins, the lipids, whatever's needed to make the part, packaged inside a nice little box. Well, it don't happen like that really, but this is what the demonstration does. And then it goes out, and then boink, it comes out inside a bubble, and then it goes outside the cell, and then it goes into another, whatever's needed. So an amazing thing. So again, you have the incoming transport vesicle, and the vesicle is a what? Is a vehicle. All right, don't forget that. And then you have at the end the outgoing transport vesicle, which is the vehicle. So again, a good way to remember it: vesicles are transportation vehicles of the cell. It's kind of like your UPS, your dependable UPS. Everybody likes UPS, the brown truck. Membrane enclosed sacs, which are stored to transport substances to and from one cell to another, from one part of the body or one part of the cell to another part of the cell. So that's what vesicles are. Vesicles are vehicles. Happy Sabbath. So next time we're going to talk about lysosomes. So we'll review Golgi apparatus. I'll show you the video of the Golgi apparatus, and then we'll look at lysosomes and what's the purpose of a lysosome. So we're getting close to the end of the cell, but there's still a lot of things we've got to learn. Still got to learn about the mitochondria. Haven't done that yet. So that's that's about it. We're almost done. Oh, got to learn about the centriole. And eventually we start learning about cell division, which is one of the amazing things. So praise the Lord.